Come on, XSplit. There you go. Greetings and welcome to Die Dragons. I presents Master of Puppets, the side campaign to the Grimstone Chronicles campaign. I am your DM and host tonight, Marty, joined by the full Ontario crew. How is everyone doing as I unmuteth thine microphones?
Hello.
Hello. I am wearing a shirt. It's got stuff on it,
Yep.
but that particular shade of pink becomes like a fleshy tone of like no tan.
It's like no tan, no body hair. I know when Adam first popped up because we do the pregame chatter, I was like, oh, because he did that. He leaned back, and the glare on his shirt was like, no, he is clothed.
Yep.
Yep.
So I built the gym in my basement. I got all the stuff in.
Cool.
There is a shortage of plates, so I've got my workouts are a little bit strange, right? I've got all the big plate jumps, but I don't have all the small plates. So it's like I could do like a 135 press, and then like a 155 press, then a 175 press, and then you're doing 225. And if you can't go 175 to 225, well, you're fucked. So no, it's good. It actually was that whole like working man stuff where it's like I spent 8 hours in the basement moving furniture and putting down flooring and all that stuff. I ate a large pizza and a half the day following because I was starving, and that was after I ate 1,000 calories of just rice because I needed carbs. So I ate 1,000 calories of rice, and I was like, I still need carbs. I'm going to go buy pizza now, like just turkey and rice and a mountain of it. They're like, nope.
Nice.
Apparently, a rice cooker full of rice is not enough food. Pizza now.
Get in my belly. Nice. So, what is the heaviest, like, you could make your bench press in your home gym?
In my home gym?
Yeah.
Well, I could load up 545 pounds. I can't press that.
But you've got.
You are weakling. You are nothing.
Like, I need a few more plates just to make up, like, my deadlift workouts are around that weight for, like, medium intensity days. So intense deadlift workouts, I need more weight. And then,
How much is just going? Just get her to hold on to that bar. It's an option.
Things on stream.
Oh yeah.
Adam is a smart man. What a horrible trap from one married man to another. You should know better.
It's recorded.
I was so proud of my son today, my older son. So you guys know this, but my younger son lost his tooth. So I was telling him, put your tooth under the pillow because the tooth fairy and all that crap. And my older son, he's 9. He's not really that much older, but he's like, put your tooth in the center, a little bit closer, to farther away from where I would be showing up. And he's looking and smiling at me. I was so angry, but so happy and so proud. I'm raising such the greatest asshole.
He told the younger son who was putting the tooth under his pillow to put it in an inconvenient spot
further,
for
so
you.
I can't get in there.
Yeah.
I was so proud of him.
And now he's addicted with me.
When those 3 boys are all like teenagers or older, that house is going to be insane.
Yes. I'm gonna move out.
Your poor wife. Oh my god. Oh, your poor wife. She's gonna have to put up with all of you. You know what you should do though? If I were you, like, you might want to try something a little different. Is you wear a monster mask and you just wake up the kid and go, "Where are your teeth?"
Yeah, Mark and I are both the eldest of two boys, right? So yeah, we kind of know.
I've done yeah.
Like, don't bother renovating your basement. Just don't. Renovate the
it's a
basement.
fucking.
Don't bother.
Yeah, it looks like a tornado hit this thing.
No, don't. Yeah, no, it's not yours anymore. Every now and then you'll go down and tell them to clean it up. That's it.
Once they reach a certain age, you'll get kicked out of your basement.
Yeah,
I'm aware of that. I'm enjoying it now, but it
You
was
reach a
fun.
certain age, you're gonna not want to be in the basement because it's gonna smell like them because they smell awful.
Smelling awful thing. I was one of those teenagers
Yeah,
where I woke up, I showered, I went to school. If they had gym anytime that wasn't the last period before going home, I would smell like trash. And because Eddie and Calvin got in a fight, Eddie and Calvin got in a fight, we better take the showers out. That's where the boys fight. They fight in the showers. So they removed the showers at the school.
Why are they always naked?
So
easy.
Ender's Game. What did you think was going to happen?
there comes a point where every parent needs to tell their kid, "You stink," because there comes a point where they need to bathe every day, not every other day, every day. And when they ask why, you have to tell them it's because you stink. You smell like your shoes. Go bathe. No one wants to be around you.
Smell like shoes. Yeah.
Good parenting 101.
Thanks, Mark.
Hey, honesty is the best policy. Where are your teeth? Do it, because I was not allowed to do that, and I want to know how it goes.
Don't let your kids do anything that would make you not like them.
Yep.
And stinking is a thing. Don't stink. Why? Because I don't like it when you stink.
All right, so we got caught up with Adam. We got caught up with Ahmed. Mark, what's going on with you?
He's gonna get
Well, apparently I'm developing plans to give small children trauma, so aside from that, really nothing. I'm coming to the end of my holidays, which is kind of sad for me, but so be it.
What game did you play today?
Nothing. Well, I shouldn't say that. I played Assassin's Creed for a couple hours before my wife woke up. But we got the Harry Potter series, and she hadn't seen it in a while, so last couple days we've been putting the Harry Potter time in. And Hogwarts is so dangerous. It's more dangerous than the X-Men school for gifted youngsters. More dangerous. At least that school in like 40 years has only been blown up 6 times. Like Hogwarts is just every year. And by the way, teachers, hey, background check, please. Hello? One? Like, give it a shot.
Can you do magic? Perfect. That's all we need to know.
tumor in your head of an evil archmage. It's cool, maybe. Or perhaps having them take off their hat.
You could definitely turn Harry Potter into a D&D campaign.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Oh yeah. So you start off as 0th level wizardlings, learning your first cantrip kind of thing.
And you spend the entire campaign going, God, I wish we had one fighter.
Yeah, where's our front line? There is no front line. Horrible. Okay, what did I do today? Let's see. I got up super early because I wanted to hit the grocery store, and also somebody at 7 a.m. was outside my apartment building fucking honking a horn. And then I heard all the neighbors starting to rouse, like, what the fuck is this? Like, you could just hear motion in all the apartments beside you. So I was up, tried to get back to sleep, went to the grocery store, was there, like, I was like the youngest person at the grocery store. It's a bunch of old people at that time, in the morning. Cooked a nice, at first it was a stir fry, then it turned into a stew. I was like, you know what we'll do? We'll add some vegetable broth to the chicken and veggies, and then add a little bit of noodles, and it turned into a very beautiful stew. So that was simmering all afternoon. Took a nap. Got up. I'm in season 2 of Westworld right now, and season, I want to say 3 of The League. And whenever I want to watch serious, I watch Westworld, and whenever I want something funny, I'll watch The League. What else? I did some campaign prep for tonight, actually. I had a bunch of scribbled notes.
Vacation, you have this week off, right?
It was week off, yeah.
Work is like beating me with a hammer because there's like deadlines and shutdowns, and like this is very stressful. Like tomorrow is like the first day of like calm. Everybody eat your turkey. Calm.
Yeah, and then we have tomorrow and Friday off because it's Thanksgiving and they get 2 days off here in the States. So
Nice.
Yeah. So, looking forward to Friday. A bunch of us are going to be doing, not streamed, because that would be ridiculous, beers, happy hour, and maybe a little bit of poker amongst friends. So, yeah, it should be good.
Cool.
Should be a good night. Okay, what did we do last game? I think Mark was in charge of last game.
We won
I was.
every game.
Episode 23 was called Magic Missiles.
Are
Right.
honorably hid under the roof.
Right.
Still alive, shit.
Rankled by the outcome of the duel, the Menace Gang surrounds Grakkel's dojo in force. The party does not acquiesce to their demands, and violence erupts in the streets. Grakkel's master, Senfu Tolagan, has a lethal showdown with Senfu Tolagan Sr. The leader of the Menace, Claretta, tries to kill Mort with with his own strength. Came very close.
Very 6 hit points. It was 6 hit points away from dead.
Chaga unleashes the power of necromancy. Alistair joins the fun, spotting the fight from the tower. Grakkel must make a difficult decision. I think what I was making reference there was whether or not he takes up the mantle of the Night Watchman of the foreign market neighborhood.
Yep.
And I believe the answer was yes, right? Like you're now the new Night Watchman. And
yeah, I'm gonna be interviewing.
So are you the Night Watchman as
Until
Like,
I
you
get
work- like you work for the Menace, or you're the Night Watchman as in you're the new sheriff in town and you're running things?
I'm gonna have to have a meeting with the Mez and say I'm gonna make sure no one fucks around at night, whether it's you or anybody else. So
Okay, so we'll get ready for a fight.
you did the wrong thing at my house, so I'm coming to your house.
okay. After the showdown with the hobgoblins, the party kind of settles into into a normal behavior. They spend time in the marketplaces. They sell a lot of the hobgoblin goods that they captured from the Menace thugs that came to kill them. They employ 2 crafters, one of which resides at the tower, that being Tarp, the infamous trap master, who is also a crafter that you rescued from Bargle's insane dungeon on the Mistmere Marsh. The other crafter being actually a group of crafters that work for Nighthorn and that have been giving you discounts as part of your last agreement with Nighthorn. You don't know when that agreement will expire, but you feel safe in Tarp's abilities as he crafts the following items for the party. For Los, he crafts a set of really powerful Eyes of the Eagle.
Nice.
Los spent all of his money so that he gets a +10 competence bonus to perception checks.
Out of curiosity, how much did that cost?
I believe it's 10,000 market price. It would be 7,500 with the deal. He also spent some time running through walls. His version of face punch training. His hit points are ridiculous. He spent a lot of time doing that last time, and he could do it because he has no con score. He could do it around the clock. So my goal with Los is to keep his hit points always at max.
Nice.
It's so like, oh, he got magic missile. Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It's like
Good.
it's a tickle. Yeah, so that he spends time keeping some of the crafter busy. Chaga has a nice new war sash. The sash of the war champion increases his effective level in fighter for both his armor training and his bravery class features, which means that Chaga in his mithril full plate, which he then spent all of his money on getting the mithril full plate plus transferring runes over to the new full plate, It's effectively what he spent that adventure's cash on, can now move at 30.
Nice.
Which is always cool.
Yep.
Yep.
Is the sash made out of the bear, or what's it made of?
No, his cloak was made out... That's actually a good thing. I'm going to make it out of the fucking the dire polar bear. Nice, I like it. Sash of the War Champion. Description. Made from leather and fur of a dire polar bear. Sweet. That will match his furry... what is it? Chaga's Smilodon fur cloak? Yeah, he's just got a bunch of furry stuff on him.
He's I view Chaga as like a cultured barbarian in the off season. Like who's like
he's a cultured barbarian. It's like he goes between Marlon Brando in Island of Dr. Moreau all the way to some fat guy in Conan. like that. That's kind of like the range, right? Yeah, it's the spectrum. Ghost ended up scribing some spells. Adam, I added just a bunch of spells to his spell book. He bought another quiver of efficient quiver. Also bought another, I believe, Pearl of Power. I've added those to his sheet. He basically, can jam through first level major spells. Junker. Oh, Junker didn't need to buy the headband because he actually got one through adventuring. So he spends some time upgrading his bow and doing rune crafting, as well as upgrading his shield and scribing some spells as he's an alchemist.
Yeah, he gets both Junker and Ghost are getting matching arrow catching runes put on their bucklers.
Okay.
So they can play rat tag.
Barnabus ends up getting Tarp, the crafter, to construct a handy haversack, but that he wears on his head. Do you want to describe a little bit more, Mark?
It's a hat, like it looks like a bowler hat, but when there's pockets on the side that he can pull wands out of, and if he pulls it off, he's got the deeper pocket down the middle, so he can literally pull a rabbit out of his hat. Of course, it would be dead because there's not enough air in there, but that's, he doesn't like children anyway, so.
And then he does some calisthenic training, it looks like, for hit points. Alistair got an upgrade on his armor and shield through the marketplace and through your crafters. He also bought an agile rune for his kukri and retrained one of his skill points as he got an int circlet last round. It didn't need one of his skill points. Grakkel ends up selling some items, doing rune trading. We'll get to your master's funeral in a moment, and then you're also doing some wand shopping and face punch training.
Yep.
Wand shopping because
ghost touch on my blade.
Nice. +2 rune and ghost touch on your main katana. You took the rune from your master's sword and put it on your own sword.
So +2 abyssal steel, ghost touch, frost, Hobb, thin blade.
Los can start to affect we can poke people with it.
Yeah.
It's now real Los.
Yeah, you could fight and kill Los is basically what.
Well, Los can also pick up that blade and like he could play chess now by poking things with
that poor chessboard. I did pull one of the pieces of treasure you got was a gold chess set, so there is a gold chess set now. Gold's highly malleable. But yeah, you could definitely play. Chess with Los now. One of the other things that Los, I forgot, it was a minor thing. He put ghost touch quality on his any tool. So now he can actually interact with locks and traps using his hands with his tools. He turns it into his thieves' tools, and then he can jigger with things. He could turn it into a spoon and feed somebody something. So he's got a little bit more ability to interact with the environment, which I thought was good. Good to mention.
That's cool.
Mort ended up upgrading his armor and doing some rune trading. Mark, do you want to describe the disgusting thing that is Mort's weapon?
So now Mort's weapon is a +2 frost and shock and corrosive abyssal steel Tetsubo.
So
Yeah,
not only is it an abyssal steel Tetsubo, it's like you're eating battery.
Yeah, you're eating a battery.
The battery acid and the shock from the battery.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, there are a few before we get on to I guess the next adventure. There are a few like things that happen during downtime that I think are probably worthy for scenes, if you will. Grakkel, you transferred the shadowy rune, or at least you got a rune crafter to transfer the shadowy rune from one set of armor to another. I believe you changed sets of armor.
Yep.
But in thinking about how you're going to survive if more hobgoblins come and your friends are not around, taking to the shadows is one way that your ancestors were able to survive and make it all the way into Imperial lands. Like, you're not above sneaking around. Your stealth is good, isn't it?
26.
There was an offhanded comment that by the rune crafter, this was Lexicus Runewright. It is just my. He was the Swiss like accent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It is very minor rune of shadow. You know there are greater runes of shadow that you can get. I do not have any here, but maybe you could find the crafter to craft one, or maybe you could find a rune. I could move it onto armor.
Yeah, it would be quite useful. I should have some friends who have some knowledge about the magics. I could ask them to help me find one.
It is just a thought. I do not need your entire backstory. And he wanders away after your transaction's complete.
Interesting.
This thought carries with you, and you return back to the tower and immediately go and talk to a crafter that's in the tower. And you find yourself in the laboratory in the Bellifont Tower, which Tarp has made not only his laboratory, but his crafting shop and also his home. There's like a little, cot in the back. You can see him grinding down some material into powder for some arcane reason.
Mm-hmm. He knocks as he approaches, like at the, to enter his lab to get permission.
Okay, when you knock, are you sure it's not trapped?
Greetings, crafter Tarp.
Tarp's just laughing to himself that you just walked through the archway.
Yeah, do not check for these. Actually, wait, I do check for these things. I do not feel it a trap. I hope I am not interrupting.
And if you are, you're going to do it anyways. You already have. So you're asking for forgiveness. What happens if I don't forgive you? Even
I
word?
could leave and return at an appropriate time, but there is no way to reach you other than interrupting.
Not for one as such as you.
It's my only way.
Do you speak Draconic?
Yes.
He mutters something in Draconic about, you're a dead blood.
What does that mean? Is it like a...
Dead blood. You don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
No magic in your blood.
There is no magic in my blood.
And nothing between your temples but metal and destruction.
Well, Unfortunately, the blade is required to keep the peace
Ma,
for those who cannot wield it. Whether I can wield magic or not, I will do my best to make sure that the way I live is not destroyed by those who have no sense of honor.
He stops, and I guess I'm eating, so the NPC's eating. He grabs a little wiggling grub from a little bowl of grubs that you saw Chaga had got for him, or maybe harvested from the rotting
Hydra.
Hydra corpse that has been on your front step for months. Pops it in his mouth and turns to face you.
what do you want?
On my armor, I've got some magics to help me with hiding. I believe it is shadow.
He pulls out a little monocle and looks at you up and down, puts the monocle back into his pocket.
Yes, and?
Is there a way to improve it?
Of course.
And,
There's always more powerful magic. Always more powerful magic.
interesting. How much would it cost to do something like this?
He pulls out an abacus, and he snaps his finger, and some sort of like you've seen these things help Chaga in the kitchen. The unseen servants bring some paper and a quill over, and he does some formula calculation and then writes down a list of materials and adds some numbers together. The other hand, he flicks the abacus back and forward.
You would need probably... this much.
And he points down at the number, and it's approximately 7,500 gold.
It is more than I have.
That is with discount.
Yeah, I understand. How long would it take you to craft this thing?
If you find things, or find money, 7 days, 8 days, 8.
Not far from this, but I will ask my comrades. Perhaps they can help me with this.
Do not bother me again unless you have the coin or the materials.
He just hands the piece of paper to you.
Understood. Thank you.
Ah,
Fuck you. I don't need something cursed.
How much money do you have for your improved shadow enchantment?
I've got 43, and he needs 75, so I'm missing 32.
Okay, you come down the stairs to an area where you've been practicing katas sometimes while you're waiting for Chaga to serve wondrous meals. You've been spending a little bit more time at the Bellifont Tower because the dojo is really empty. It's not to say you haven't been going back and forth, but
No. Anything? Yeah, I still haven't decided what to do with the dojo. I mean, I don't know if we really have any students. Like, do we have actual students there?
Yeah, there are students that go there.
All right, so I'm gonna have to put an hour a day to train some of these.
Yeah, if you're not there, it's really the most senior student ends up teaches the class. Like you have some the equivalent of people trying to go for their black belt that are teaching little kids that show up and the adult class.
The next
Yes.
senior would be teaching. Yeah.
There is nobody there, Grakkel, that can do the things that you can do or that you would trust putting your back to in battle. The people you would trust in battle, I think, are all in this tower, some more than others. You can hear Barnabus muttering to himself, and you actually hear his whiskey bottle kind of slosh around a little bit.
I will let any fucking illiterate write a book.
So since his master had died, the symbol. So he has tattoos of sleeves of mini garments or something.
Yep.
And on his cape and on the chest of his armor, and on the charisma, the band of charisma, the symbol of his school, of his dojo. Just big symbols, basically. Carrying it around as a reminder to himself and to others, perhaps.
Okay, Los comes blasting through the door when he sensed that you were there. Come on! How about you? There ends up being like a 5-minute sword fight between Grakkel and Los. Los seems to be really agitated at first by the fact that you put a ghost touch rune on your blade, but now loves the idea that you could have no fair fights.
It is not for you. Los, don't worry.
Barnabus, you were trying to figure something out. There was some complicated stuff that you were just reading, but you're annoyed by yet again another duel that's happening like 10 feet away from where you're.
A book just comes flying into the room.
The book goes right through Los and gets batted by Grakkel.
Look out! after you hit it.
Oh, I don't think that's how the saying goes. Books are not mightier than swords, and Los is now attacking the book. He's got in a stock, so he's like just poking the book. He's looking at you while doing it, though. You can tell he's trying to push your buttons.
Barnabus.
That book is written by an imbecile and is worth more as that than it is as an actual source of knowledge. However, this, and he points back to the room he was in, is a place of learning.
I see you need your time, you need your peace and quiet. I will make sure to train somewhere else.
That would be nice, thanks.
You get a salute from Los's sword, and he looks back at Barnabus and goes through the.
You didn't have to get upset. You could have told me right away it was upsetting you.
Oh, I'm sorry. He pulls out a watch. It is 2 minutes to fuck off.
Barnabus.
You can tell by the glassiness in Barnabas's eyes, and by the way he's breathing hard and leaning on the door, leaning in the door sill. He's probably at least 2 bottles in.
Tell me when I can come back again. I need to ask you about something.
What? Go ahead, ask. I'm here. You've interrupted.
Well, I'm interested in making my armor more stealthy. And the one upstairs says it will cost me 7,500. I do not have it. I do need to borrow some money, and I do not know from whom I can ask.
Oh, I see. So you need to borrow some money from old Barnabus.
I do not know if you have the amount that I need.
How much do you need?
I need about 3,200.
Well, as a matter of fact, I do happen to have such an amount available. Unfortunately for you, I feel a twinge of pity, as I have been in your exact situation not so long ago. I had to take a loan from Mort. So I would be willing to loan you the money, on a couple of conditions, of course.
I would obviously return it. And
yeah, that's just a fucking given. How many of those magical blades you got?
This is the one I use primarily.
Yeah, but what about your master's sword? You still got that?
My master sword.
I'm assuming. Have you sold it?
Are you interested in learning the ways of the samurai?
No. Why on earth would I?
It's an excellent choice, Barnabus. I would be happy to start teaching you.
Listen, when I want to learn the ways of the samurai, I'll pick up a book. That'll be fine. What I am interested in is having a little thing they call in banking collateral.
You want to make sure that I return the funds to you.
Yeah, sort of. But, I mean, another condition for the loan is you will stick with us for the next few little runs, so your share comes to me until your debt is paid. I'm being kind. I'm not even charging you interest. I just want to make sure in case something happens to you, like there's something left over.
If you're interested in something like that, he pulls out his spare blade. I have this one here. The other one is being prepared for the funeral ceremony for my master.
You're burying it with him?
Yes, it is his blade. Well, I have taken the some of the magics off.
Oh, he taps you on the shoulder like, okay, there you go. Good job, man.
+2 rune.
Won't need that shit anymore. The blade, the steel is what is important. It is part of him.
Yeah, all right, I'm fine with that. All right, so you've got a spare blade as collateral. Is it magic?
Yes, it is. As you would say, it is not as powerful as my main weapon, but it is.
Oh, it's not your abyssal steel. I gotcha.
But it's my magical. It is also magical. +1.
It's most of the fucking. Yeah, right. Don't die. And if you do die, I get your shit.
At that point, it would not matter to me.
Yeah, just make sure everyone knows.
Sure, Barnabus. You know I would return you the funds. You do know this, yes?
I trust you, yeah. It's just if you die, because we're in a dangerous line of business. That and you almost had your heart taken out by an old man a week ago.
That guy was fucking dangerous.
You keep saying that, but all we use is first circle spells to put him down. He's really not that dangerous, is he?
Yeah, magic has its pros. He was able to kill my master, and my master could easily have killed me. So I am glad he did not kill any one of us.
Yeah, so am I. That's why we make a good team, I suppose. Yeah, so I'll get you them funds. You can go ahead and tell Top to start your work. I'll make sure he gets the money.
Gives you a courteous bow. Appreciate it.
Hat to you and...
Appreciate the Barnabus.
I will remove money from my character sheet, but I am putting that you owe me 3,200.
Yeah, you have my blade temporarily.
Yes, he's leaving it in his bedroom because he doesn't need to carry it around.
Yeah, okay, so my +1 spare is...
Okay, so
Put the ghost touch on that one. Where did you put the ghost touch?
On my Abyssal Steel.
Abyssal Steel.
Okay. You can't crit a ghost. Anyways, it's fine.
I think it's just because it's the main weapon he uses.
Yep.
That's where all the...
When it comes time to moving stuff around, we'll just...
All right. Meanwhile, Junker and Ghost are chit-chatting about the last bit of treasure that hasn't really been divvied. One of it is a big sheet of... or a big patch of troll skin from the Ice Trolls that has the Amulet of Mighty Fist and Frost Rune on it. Chaga has been casting every few days a Gentle Repose spell on it. And then there's also a big piece of bear fur that you took off the polar bear that has a worm fang amulet tattoo on it. You guys are not sure, at least... You're not sure how to transfer these magic items onto creatures, or if it's possible.
So we're taking Rat, we're putting him on this Amulet Mighty Fist tattoo.
Okay, so he's just sitting there, his nose is twitching a little bit. He's pretty docile when he's not in combat mode.
It's I'm assuming it's a much more massive piece of flesh than.
Yep. Chaga, Barnabus, and Grakkel come into the room. It looks like Chaga's in an apron with big oven mitts on, and there's a duck in like a big water basin. The ducking is just sort of bobbing in a water basin. It's just splashing around. Chaga is serving a. Oh, don't tell Duckin that I'm serving bird tonight.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to offend him.
In Mizumi, you're making soup.
No, I'm making sylvan hens. They're these little tiny, which we call Cornish hens, but
Sure.
yeah, that doesn't make sense in the context of this place. So, sylvan hens, yeah, just little tiny hens on skewers. Also, looks like shish kebab of like vegetables and mushrooms to go along with the Cornish hens. So it's kind of like
Everything on a fucking stick, then. Eh?
everything on a stick. Yes, inspired by vampires.
Funny.
Do we know a really good flesh crafter or
What
tattoo guy,
for?
maybe?
What for?
Well, we want to put that, and he's pointing at like the 1.5 foot by 1.5 foot hunk of troll flesh onto that, which is a rat.
Is a bit problematic. Is there? I seem to recall in another campaign there is a spell to transfer tattoos. Is that a homebrew thing?
If you guys want to make a knowledge arcana or a spellcraft check,
I will
you guys...
make a knowledge arcana, take 10, and get 30 something. 30. Damn it.
Ghost is going to do a knowledge local foundry.
Okay.
Who do I talk to do the thing? 27 local foundry.
43 on the knowledge arcana.
Yeah, it's called transfer tattoo.
There's a spell for that. You might actually find it. Did they? Well, they do magic tattoos. I went to a shop for a tattoo. Most of my hair is covering it now, but
Ghost knows with his role. He knows that there are a bunch of Hobb tattoo artists in the foreign district or in the foreign market. The oldest one and the one that probably knows the best is the proprietor of the Shaman's Cave. He runs like a curio shop, but he also would likely know.
Shaman's Cave, but fucking, they might be mad over there.
Hey, why would they be mad? We've got the new night deputy or whatever you're called.
Yes, I'm still deciding what to do with this.
Scroll.
Why don't you just learn it and cast it, Barnabus?
Barnabas, this makes sense. You did have to go through the proprietor of the Shaman's Cave to arrange your parrot being made.
yeah, I had to go through the Shaman's Cave before. I'll go with you. We'll talk things through.
In Mizumi, what kind of tattoo?
Oh, I got a parrot on my shoulder. He kind of pulls his shirt open.
You actually heard when he said parrot. You
Shut
actually
up, Ollie.
you heard a muffled like.
Nice.
Chugga looks at the sylvan hens. He's like, they look cooked.
Barnabas, so like, all right, yeah, here's what I can do for you. And he kind of opens his shirt, and a parrot kind of made out of tattooed skin pops out of his shirt and hops onto the ground.
Give me a second.
That's Polly, my familiar.
I grabbed a parrot token for now.
Okay.
There we go. Tiny.
Yes.
And do parrots talk?
Yes, they can speak like ravens.
Hello. How long have you had that?
Oh, month or so.
All right.
Junker, Inazumi, want to make a fight?
Right on the
No,
table.
no.
Right
That's
on the
my
table.
fucking skin. No, you don't want it to fight no rat.
50 gold pieces on rat.
Kinda picks the bird up and shoves it in his shirt, and it's
Yeah, it kind of does this like weird burrow and disappears into his skin, and you can see like a little bit of multicolored ink swirling around Barnabas' neck.
Junker shakes his head. Disgusting.
Yeah, all right. You eat garbage. Literal garbage.
And I
Who people have deemed unfit to eat, you pick out of trash and consume. But a tattoo familiar is disgusting.
Huh.
It's inside of you.
It's on me, not inside. That's disgusting.
It's inside.
No, it's not inside.
Inside.
It's on.
Krakus looks at
Chuck,
You could also have your familiar inside.
no, my familiar's in a tub in the other room. Oh, by the way, I will be bonding with the little thing. I got the.
Shaga, please keep these things to yourself.
Well, it's not going inside me.
It's up to you. Cooking it.
Barnabas.
Aren't you cook? Why?
Barnabas makes a smart comment to himself, but can't help but chuckle.
Yep.
I have excellent spices back at the dojo. It would be excellent.
No, we're not talking about you, Duckin.
It has a name.
Chaga snaps his fingers, and an unseen servant closes the door, and then Chaga begins to eat the sylvan hens. Oh yes, it's Duckin. You didn't pick that up when we were?
But it's a duck.
Yes, Duckin.
Oh,
Not
it's-
Duckin. That was part of the joke. Do we have to explain this to you?
Are all bad at funny? Is that it?
Yeah, I think we are. You're the bard?
Bard-ish. I went to the school, didn't really excel at the singing or the dancing or the backing instruments. Actually sold mine for a bottle of whiskey. It was fun for a while.
Professor, yes.
But I can talk, so good enough to teach a class, so
Oh, yes.
the rest
Yes.
of them bards can take the tight little pants with the cod pieces and go fuck off.
What has got your
Under the table.
what has got your undergarments in a twist tonight, Barnabas?
Aside from all the racket, not much. Just the usual bit of liquor, that's all.
Well, there's still daylight left. This is an early dinner. You could go to the shop today. I don't have anything I need from the shaman's cave. I'll stay here.
Yeah. I
can
need my evening constitutional anyway.
I will leave. I will let the crafter know you can start, and I can accompany you if you're free. Do you wish?
Yeah, sure.
You coming, Barnabas?
Oh, yeah, if there's any... Perhaps I could smooth things over, being a good customer in the past. If there's any bad blood, shall we say, about the misunderstanding we had last week.
What was the misunderstanding? He starts rubbing his temple.
All the corpses.
It's his ghost.
Junker and Ghost occasionally now catch the little bird kind of floating up along the skin and taking a look kind of like out of Barnabas's low cut collar and then kind of disappearing back down below like it's
That's creeper bird, like
yeah,
Junker's eyeing it suspiciously.
a little bird head appears on his hand and has a little look and then goes back underneath. Like it's got to provide the alertness somehow, right?
Gotta do something.
And just for those who have also watched Dread and Circus and say, hey, haven't we seen the tattoo familiar before? Yes, we have. It's because we think tumor familiars are gross. So we went with this. Mechanically works the same.
Chain smoking Barnabus tumor familiar.
Hey, buddy.
I just put the cigarette there. Oh, gross. Open your mind. All right. So it sounds like the four of you are heading out from the sorcerers or the Bellifont Tower into the foreign district. As you're walking, you notice people getting out of Grakkel's way. Some people are like leaving the street and going inside their homes. Others are gawking and whispering and pointing down at you from windowsills. There are some that actually stop what they're doing, move out of your way, and bow and just hold their heads down, like, and wait for you to pass.
Why don't you walk ahead of us?
It's like I get your money much sooner than I thought.
You pass by a fruit vendor, and the fruit vendor collects up a few apples and then comes out and just sort of holds them out in front of you and in a basket.
Wow. You know, I tap on the shoulder, like, no, thank you. It is appreciated, but
Okay.
about good luck with your business.
The fruit vendor's jaw drops open, and he stammers and looks like he's very afraid.
I'll take 2 apples.
Collect
But-
apples.
Oh, he looks so relieved when you take one of his apples, and he bows a bunch of times, and the hobgoblin goes back to his stall.
Don't worry, Grakkel, we got your back.
You feel all eyes on you, Grakkel, and it's not a common feeling, and it's not necessarily
Good one.
a good one.
I'm going to have to pay a visit to the menace.
Yeah, what for?
I think they are all under the impression that I work for the menace.
You hear like a little tung, like visit? He's like flicking the bear with the bowstring on his back. Like, visit?
It might have to be a formal visit, not a blades drawn visit. Spells going visit, whatever you call. We'll contemplate this later. Perhaps we visit them tomorrow.
You're not sure how to get in contact with the menace. The menace leader that you knew about, you killed. And then you went to the place where their hangout was known to be, and you robbed it, killing the vampire creature that was staying on her couch, effectively. You're actually give me a knowledge local.
Okay.
This is Grakkel.
Okay. That 21.
There are at least 3 different people that will likely be vying for leadership of the menace.
Do I know who? This was the leader that we got rid of?
Yes.
Who are the 3?
There's
and who can I? Which? Grakkel's thought. I'm in a possible position of power that I do not want, but I might necessarily have to take.
one of them's a blue-skinned guy, kind of like that guy who cold you. You know that there's another like ogre. They also call him an oni. You know that there's at least one more of those that's in the neighborhood. There is a rival dojo that's very popular. There's the leader of the very popular dojo that might also try to take leadership. And then Adam, who's the third?
The third is a powerful cleric of it's a good god. Not a good god, but a story-wise good god. Do the Hobb worship Negluviet, or do they have
The give me a second.
I think in old times they did. The traditionalists might.
Okay, maybe she worships one of the old gods, and she has a number of zealot followers. That's where her power comes from.
Okay.
Is this god? Which god is this?
It's one of the old gods we have.
An old god.
An
An
old
old
god.
Okay.
Which you know your people should have left behind when they came here. Like that would be a very dangerous. So you've got something that's tied to Oni, which are bad. Someone who's tied to an old religion that's not supposed to be here, bad. But when I say strongest, it's probably the most well attended.
Yeah.
It would be the Senfu of that school. You always found them arrogant.
Well, so crazies.
The
Only crazy.
The traditionalists, the traditional way of solving this would be the way that you solved your problem with the
Jewel.
with your rival.
Yep.
The other ways of solving it is there might be a lot of blood in the streets. In the next while.
You're going to have to find out when the meeting is going to be. He talks to Junker and Ghost. Can I ask you to look around and try to figure it out? Could you do that? There are three that are likely to be interested in becoming the leaders of Menace.
What is your goal here, given that it is your neighborhood?
My goal is to get the top students from all the dojos to be my deputies. One from each. And they will be under me, and I will not be under the Menace. And the leader of the Menace will be supported by me. That is how I'll get them in power.
And what do you want us to do?
Find out when they are meeting. I have to decide which one I will condone to be the leader of Menace. Just decide which one is least likely to kill these people.
Sure. You know, given what we did, there is a good chance that whoever you say you're behind will just cause the other ones to maybe take a step back.
Yes, it is the plan. With the given understanding that the Night Watchman role will be done by me and my deputies, and they will not be forced by anything from the Menace.
Now, it's possible the Menace won't resolve this right away. It didn't mean instant war. The three groups may begin to
negotiate, or
they may begin to consolidate to get ready for a conflict. Like, you were not supposed to happen. The killing of the Menace leader was not supposed to happen. The 12th level witch or whatever she was, she wasn't supposed to die like that. There's a reason why everyone's walking out of your fucking way.
They must think I did it. They clearly weren't there.
But a bunch of people involved there, so yeah. You're walking with your homies. You got your homies with you.
It's fair to say her corpse was unrecognizable.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so are you changing course? Or are you going to continue to go to the shaman's cave?
No, we'll deal with this business with current business as is, and then we'll think about what we're gonna do with these with the menace later.
Okay. You arrive at the shaman's cave. The shaman's cave is a ramshackle of shop. There are probably 1,000 different little glass vials and bottles behind the counter, where there are all manner of potions, toxins, poisons, elixirs, components, reagents that the shaman himself peddles in. The countertop, part of it is old and really oiled wood, while another part of the countertop is a glass case in which there are baubles, likely magical baubles. The rest of the shop is just chock full of oddities. It reminds you of a disorganized Granomir shop, minus the precariously placed, overly charged vases.
Traps.
It definitely has a feel that some of these things have been here for a long time. There is hookah smoke of a particular spicy variety that immediately assails your nostrils when you enter the shop. Grakkel, you recognize this as a type of tobacco that actually comes from the Venkeshi lands, I think is what your homeland's called. I would have to look at your character sheet.
Yep. Greetings.
Yeah, the Venkeshi territories. Oh, greetings. He lowers his head in a respectful bow, although his cagey eyes never leave you.
Yep.
I
gave him a courteous bow.
He gets up from his seated position and he puts the hookah end off to the side, and he gives you a look over. He wanders to a portion of the counter that you can't see behind, and he reaches into like a drawer, and he pulls out a sack and puts the sack on the counter, and then moves his hand away from the sack, his hands politely folded in front of himself.
The Nuzumi are coming forward. They are.
You're gonna get smacked in about 3 seconds.
You notice that he's got on his left hand, his thumbnail for some reason is really long, and his fingernails, his fingertips are all stained black. He looks at the Nuzumi approaching and looks back to Grakkel, like almost like asking, "Is it okay for them to touch it?"
They're looking to you. They're picking up the sack. If you're hesitating, they're gonna nod to you and take the sack behind you.
How big is the sack?
The sack has I don't know. It's about the size of an apple.
What's with these guys on fucking apples? No.
Oh, there's more than an apple in here.
An apple a day keeps the
Night
watchman away.
I assume that you will also accept jade.
Yeah, he does.
Barnabus chuckles. He's not getting in the middle.
Sorry, I didn't expect this.
Go in the back. Back of the line.
How often did you make this payment to the previous?
Ah, you wish to negotiate already?
No. I wish to give you a long, long extension. Twice a year, not more.
Dangerous keeping such sums around. I'd rather give them to you more periodically, if that is all right, Night Watchman.
It is fine.
It is, of course, not just from my shop, as you know.
All right, so be it.
Barnabus kind of grabs your shoulder or you by the elbow, and you know what he means. He still thinks he has to pay the same amount Right, just twice a year instead. Spread out.
Keep it the same as it was before then. My friends have come to do some business.
Ah,
That bag is long not visible anymore.
Yep.
Grakkel's got an eye on both of you. Like, come here.
Okay, you'll find that there are 200 jade tiles, like little tiny squares. They're like square jade coins that are in the bag. The jade square coins are probably worth two gold pieces apiece.
He looks at Barnabus looks at Grakkel and the Junior Zumi. I think we're going to market tomorrow.
Looks like looks like I'll be making that actual payment much sooner than I thought.
how can I help you and your friend?
So Junker
I'm gonna.
speaking in Nizumi to Ghost, and then Ghost is going to speak in common to to the shaman.
Okay.
Even though they already have discussed this, it's like almost a show of.
Yep.
We want this on this.
Grakkel's taking a step back and not paying attention to this.
Or a tattoo, or a scroll of the transfer tattoo if you have one, and then we can use magic to put it from here to there.
You want to give this to a rat?
What do you mean by when you say rat? Why do you say it that way?
It is the younger cousin.
He laughs. He laughs politely at the way Grakkel laughed.
I am so funny.
I can do this for you. Shall I deduct it from your next payment?
He's asking Grakkel.
For my next payment. Is he doing the job or doing the scroll?
He says, "I can do it for you. You have as much information as everyone else."
Okay. He looks at Junker and Barnabus. Did you need the scroll or do you just need it done?
If he's gonna do it, just let him fucking do it.
So I look at it this way, Ahmed. Just or like, you don't go to a mechanic to learn how to be a mechanic. You go to a mechanic for him to do mechanic stuff. Like,
I thought you guys were gonna buy the scroll and learn that shit.
if he couldn't do it, we would basically say you get the scroll. But if he casts that spell for a fee, then he probably doesn't want to give us the scroll.
That is fine.
How long ago was this flesh carved from this beast? And he kind of, I'm not sure what that is.
So Ghost is going to make a show of translating for Junker. Then Junker is going to say more Nizumi back to Ghost. And
I don't know what that is. Actually, was in Goblin, but the rest was in common.
Okay, they speak Goblin, so
Okay.
he'll.
He also seems to understand Nizumi.
There's a principle of the thing.
Yep.
One moment.
It's.
There is a chance, Night Watchman, if this creature died too long ago, that I will not be able to transfer anything from its flesh.
It has gentle repose.
How long between time of expiration and time of casting?
I think it was the next night.
Like a day.
This may not be possible. 8 hours.
Still smells good.
I look at Barnabas and the rats. I personally don't give a fuck.
He casts a spell.
This one was preserved enough time. This one has rotten. I regret being the bearer of bad news. You should hurry to me quicker with the trophies of your next kill.
Which one's rotten?
The Wormfang amulet is rotten.
Sense motive. Is he telling the truth?
Yeah. Give me a sense motive.
All right, the Nezumi are gonna roll their sense motives. It's gonna be so awesome you don't even understand how amazing it's gonna be.
46.
Oh,
All right, I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah, it makes sense. The polar bear died beforehand. Yeah, Chaga was able to get only one of them, and he chose the more powerful one, and then he tried to do it the next day on the less powerful one. He actually points out where the magic seems to be bleeding into the flesh, and where some of the rotted flesh actually interrupted some of the runes.
It is garbage.
It is quite unfortunate.
Unless you have access to a great arch wizard to move this minor rune around.
It is not worth the time.
I think we'll skip it.
Okay, I'll just cross the Wormfang amulet off.
You can keep the flesh. You seem to be interested in what it was from.
Ghost is or Junker's gonna put it into the bag of random rotten crap that he
Just
eats.
Into Junker's feed bag, which is grosser than Mort's.
Usually we throw things in there and he just eats it. It's disgusting. Really.
It's the magic word, garbage.
Yeah, there's no indication that the shaman was at all interested in it or like
Oh, okay.
uh,
He said I wouldn't know what it is. I'm like,
he then actually must have had the spell prepared because he begins to he plucks the rat up and kind of turns it over in his hand. The rat has to be calmed by Junker or it's going to try to squeeze away. It then kind of plays dead. He begins to swirl his fingertips over top of the rune and then sticks the rat kind of down onto the rune, and you can see the rune disappearing from the troll flesh and then blazing in the rat. The rat's making a little bit of a squealing noise.
Quit being a baby.
And then he drops the rat, and you notice that there's like a little bit of wisp of cold energy around his hand.
You have a very magical rat now.
Junker's looking at the rat. Oh, you think you get a name now, do you? Fuck you. Oh, you want it called Frosty Nibblers? Go fuck yourself.
Which means that the Wormfang amulet gets tossed back into the into the treasure pile because it's not needed anymore.
Not needed anymore.
Is there anything else I can help you with on this fine day, Night Watchman?
Nope. This is what we came for. Your service is quite appreciated.
I have one question for you.
You can proceed.
Where do we find you should we need your protection? Where should we find you if we have grievance?
And that's exactly what I didn't want.
Myself and many of the merchants here wish to know.
I guess the tower is where we're gonna be. How far is the tower from here?
It borders the neighborhood.
But my dojo is right in the center.
No, your dojo is like in the shadow of the tower. It was like 2 rounds of flying for Alistair to get there.
Alistair, with his shit perception, can see you from there.
Yeah, that's where you were recruited by these insane.
So the tower gives me like a nice view of the town.
You have moved into Bellifont Tower,
Bellifont Tower for now, yes.
I'm sure if you leave a message at the dojo, he'll get that as well.
Bellifont's Tower it is.
He knew, like, there might have been an added bit of fear by this.
The place with the lich in the basement.
He thinks you've got nice eyebrows. He says they're sharp.
A gift of my bloodline.
Ain't gotta comb him.
If there is anything you require, you know where to reach me now. And he's turning and leaves.
Do not expect much traffic to the tower.
Fucking hope not.
Yeah. Quick, Barnabus, we have to leave.
Okay, he's watching Grakkel really closely now.
Come here, dude.
He might be looking for something, Barnabus.
Like the mask?
No, he's watching Grakkel's face. He's watching him very closely.
All right.
Oh,
Grackles. Nope, no idea what he's talking about.
any idea what the sense motive or just?
Well, yeah, he's actually. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Reading his body language from that book I read, 39.
Yeah, he is intently watching Grakkel's movements and
He
face.
tried to ascertain Grakkel's type, perhaps.
No, it's more like he's
His combat prowess.
mixed with concern.
This guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh, there's a bunch of,
Yep.
there's a bunch of, like, doppelgangers in there, wasn't there?
He's saying he's also at the tower. He might be concerned that he's enchanted by a wizard.
That's also possible.
As you're leaving, as Grakkel steps onto the street, Barnabas, you catch him kind of snap his fingers, and some sort of unseen spirit servant kind of throws the end of the hookah back into his hand, and he takes a long drag from it, and it looks like he's deep in thought now. Smoke slowly billowing out of his mouth. He's not paying attention to you guys as you leave
Okay.
after Grakkel has left.
The Nizumi are intently watching for people trying to give offerings to the Night Watchman, and will collect them on his behalf.
All right, so you end up with a basket, and it's full of groceries. By the time you walk through the, you've got bread and some cheese and some noodles and a little thing of spice and.
Fuck, this would be like Chaga's fucking birthday. He
So-
didn't come. People just kept giving us food.
Some fruit, a lemon.
Some random stuff.
Yep.
The rats, they are.
We'll say people actually put like copper pennies into the basket when they saw that it was a basket for him. You've got 9 copper coins.
Okay, we will be your servants who collect the things for you, because you do not touch the peasantry. That's fine by us. So he doesn't like it. Don't hand it to him directly. That's the rumor that we're starting.
Right. My main concern now is not with that guy, but it is with who is going to be taking power and how to influence him the direction we want.
The way to do that is
Her, actually, because there's a priestess there.
you just tell whoever it is, if you want my sport, this is what's going to fucking happen. And if you don't do it, I'll lop your fucking head off too. It's not complicated. Violence gets a lot accomplished.
Do you want to get magic missile to death? Do you know how many wizards I have in my employment?
Okay. Grakkel, you know that Tarp needs your armor with him while he's putting the new rune on. Are you planning to go visit any of the factions of the Menace without your armor?
I'm gonna let Junker. I'm gonna give Junker and Rat a day or so. Hopefully they can. They got paid 9 copper. Go find. Go find out about these 3 guys and what they're doing.
He's asking for us to go do some gather information. I think.
Yeah, and it looks like Junker and Rat are busy with their own stuff. Sorry, Junker and Ghost. Ghost is scribing new spells right now, and Junker needs to do a bunch of back and forth to upgrade his bow and do some rune transfers. So I don't know how you're answering.
If they're telling him to do stuff, if they're not planning on going with them, they'll go, yeah.
Okay. When you guys get back to the tower, there is a... I guess this is just rotting here. There is a package kind of in brown paper, some brown twine around it, and a little black card on the top of the package. The package is, I don't know, smaller than a bread box.
Okay.
Barnabus, you've been around enough of these in your life, you could recognize a wrapped book when you see one. It's actually quite large for a book.
Okay. He will unwrap it. Detect magic first. Check it for. It could be a symbol of who knows what on there. Quick check for magic and.
Okay. The black card looks like it folds, like there might be a little message on it. There is the slight pulse of magic coming from the book. The brown paper is obscuring what that magic is. Like you can just see little bits peeking out of the corners of the wrapping.
Give the card a quick read.
Okay. So Barnabas walks up to it. You're like, this could be a trap, but you slip the card out. It doesn't have any, there's no problems. There is a simple note inside the card. It says, "Please accept this gift, Professor. The only strings attached are those within."
Is it? It's not signed by anyone?
Nope.
From. I do like books. All right, he opens it up.
Okay, you're just doing it right there, or are you going inside?
Oh, he'll go inside.
Okay, all right.
Take it to the common room.
All right, parties.
So if it explodes, it gets everybody.
Party's coming back in. Ghost and Junker are kind of laughing about, all the work they have to do. They take the good stuff out of the basket and just give Chaga the food, I guess, because, Chaga will do good things with the food. You add 9 copper to their sheet or whatever. Mort is... you can hear Mort and Chaga arguing in the kitchen.
I'm using the bag from now on. I don't care what you say.
Oh, it's disgusting. And ducking is not for eating. This bird is mine.
I didn't say I wanted to eat him. I just wanted some feathers.
Oh, here's a bit of down that she shed. I don't know why you want it. Why do you want it?
I want a decent-sized feather to pick my teeth.
Oh, all right. I plucked some feathers from the little hens we ate yesterday. They're over there.
Where? Garbage. All right.
Junker cleared it out.
Don't worry. The scary little gnome will not have you. Yes, don't worry. Chugger's here to protect you.
Should have called him lunch.
That's rude. Where are your ears? It's just gonna go up in the side of its head. It's just bobbing happily in a tub. It doesn't seem to be very active. The party comes back in. Barnabas, you sit down in the You sit down at the table. You can feel the curiosity from your own familiar as you're kind of bonded. Like it's like poking out of your wrist, so it has a good a good look.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
What is it? What is it?
It's a book. Fuck off.
Book for master. Book for master.
Fucking rise for master. He'll open it up.
Okay.
He looks at Grakkel as he's about to open it up. It might explode.
For
He just kind of gives you a
brief moment, when your finger actually touched the top of the book, Barnabus, you caught a glimpse. Like you were not sitting at the common room table. You were in a place full of blacks and reds. An oppressive, distant gong was tolling. There were long black fingernails with a ghoulish pen that was writing by hand this manuscript. The skin of this creature looked like it was just recently dipped in red, and it had an extra knuckle on its hands. The walls looked somewhat organic, or perhaps somebody had kind of melted skulls or people into the walls. Like you actually still smell the sulfur in your nose when you kind of come back to yourself.
Grakkel's got his hand on his blade. Are you expecting trouble?
maybe knowledge planes.
Mort.
Where was that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I will take one of my 8 20s I have for the day.
Okay, the 8 20s. While you would have had to take a little bit more of a look around, you're pretty certain that you just had an image of hell.
Mort. Ghost.
Yeah, he actually smells the book before he...
Okay, there is a brimstony sulfur coming from its pages.
All right.
Ever so slight, like almost like you smelling a cigar. Like you gotta put it up your nose to smell it. Like the smell is fading fast, but it's there.
All right. He will pop the cover.
Okay, well you actually finish taking the wrapping off, and give me a knowledge planes.
I will take 20 and get a 51, and I will take a... Make that a 56 with my...
Okay. This is the Infernal Codex, volume... What is that? 16C.
Okay.
This book is written in Infernal.
I speak that.
Has grand illustrations, both beautiful and grotesque throughout. It was penned by Adramalik, Chancellor of Hell and Keeper of Records, with your roll of 56 with the fortune point that's being spent.
58.
The roll of 58, you know that Adramalik is a vassal of Asmodeus.
Huh.
This book was penned by him. Codex meaning that it was actually written by a devil lord. You know that a clever mortal can decipher and glean the names of devils from within its pages, and perhaps even what each devil delights and their antithesis. The cover of the book is an unholy symbol of Asmodeus.
Okay.
And this book is indeed an original.
Well, this is my prize collectible.
Meaning that it was penned by this greater devil lord
This is not a copy.
in hell. This is not a copy. This is volume 16.
C.
C. Yeah, it has a little C beside the volume number.
What was the name again?
I will actually copy this stuff. I'll copy it into where? Into Barnabas' sheet, or?
Yeah, just right at the bottom of the sheet now.
Okay.
It needs to go.
So I assume you were kind of like, what is this? And that is what you got with your 50, but what is it?
His curiosity is absolutely piqued, and he just gets up and walks to the library and begins to read. Then he stops, turns around, grabs a fresh bottle of whiskey, and goes
The
back
character,
into the library.
the character limit when you
Take the book with you.
didn't get
Yeah.
it all. So it got left at each devil that delights in there. I think there's like one sentence left. Yeah.
I don't know why there's a 4.
Because we're golfing.
For golfing. Also 4. All right, Barnabas, you'll be ready in an hour. He just doesn't even answer Shaka as he goes and sits down.
I'm just copying that to my character sheet.
It's already there. It's at the bottom.
Oh, nice, thank you. Okay, yeah. So what's this about?
So yeah, you begin to read.
Now, anyone with a little bit of sense would think the only strings attached are the ones within, and the book is written by a devil lord from hell. Barnabas is one of the few people who wants to learn what those strings are.
Nice. Yeah. Anything else that you? Well, actually, you got this last part too. That that he is said to have penned 3 copies of each codex, of each volume.
Okay, so this
and
is
that
one
this
of them.
and that this is one of them. Perhaps that's what what it means by C.
Okay.
And then Barnabas kind of gets lost in the book for a while.
Yep.
This type of tome is a thing that you could write several doctoral theses on, and there are likely
or something.
there are likely few mortals that have read every one of the tomes.
Barnabas now wants to be one of them.
You now begin to wonder how many volumes there are.
Yeah.
There could be hundreds of volumes if this does if this categorically defines every devil, which it doesn't seem to be doing. Like, it's not like it goes chronologically, which might even add a different level of difficulty to understanding why he would talk about a bunch of lesser devils.
Okay.
And who cares if this one likes boiling people and boiling people alive? You know, it's you're looking at a tree and you're likely unable to see the forest by looking at the single tree in front of you.
Well, damn it! I'm gonna learn about the tree, though.
Sure. Yeah, you do a lot of reading, and there's a fascinating. You're trying to wrap your head around what does this mean.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And he's trying. Well, I mean, he's trying to figure out who sent it to me and why.
Okay, so you put the book down after a few hours of reading, and you pick up the card.
Yeah. There's no. I don't recognize the handwriting, or.
Give me a linguistics check.
Okay. 37. I'm going to use another. So 40. Inspiration point. That's what I meant.
The handwriting belongs to a person you received a book from before.
Hallmark Strom?
Hallmark Strom's handwriting.
And did anybody see when this book got here?
No, I've been in the kitchen all day. Ghost and Junk. It wasn't there when you guys left, so Ghost and Junker weren't here.
No, Chaga, Alistair. I'm lucky it wasn't destroyed. Not gonna ask the lich. Yeah, okay, he'll go ask Alistair.
Okay.
Around.
You actually hear Alistair's voice, and it sounds echoey when you get to his door. The door is locked.
He knocks.
What is it?
And it sounds like he's... It sounds weirdly echoey.
What are you doing in there?
Then you can hear, like scraping against metal.
What? What is it?
Oh.
He opens the door, and just Alistair's grim little face with the melted mirror.
What?
I was wondering if you were around, or if you noticed anyone coming up to the tower earlier this evening.
Do I look like a guard?
No, you look like an ungrateful child.
What? Do I have to put a dead thing on my doorknob to let you know not to disturb me?
Well, then I'd know you were in.
Fine. I'll put a dead thing on the doorknob. Maybe I'll kill that rat. Meow.
Yeah, I'd stay away from them, right?
What do you want, Barnabus? You look sober.
Yeah, it's been a while since I had a drink. Yeah, someone dropped something off, and it's a little concerning, seeing as I thought they was dead.
Did somebody poop? Were they weren't supposed to?
Alright, I'm gonna leave. You can put your pants back off if that's what you were doing, and
Fuck you. You don't know what I'm doing.
Door closes.
everyone can hear the echo!
I don't know what I'm doing. I'll show all of you. Meow.
Fucking hate. Alright, and then he will ask Mort, who's actually the least fun to talk to.
Okay, he come down the stairs, and Mort's just got a bunch of broken feathers in his teeth.
Mort sits there like finger up his nose. What? Did you happen to notice anyone at the door earlier? It would be after we left, but before we got back. Someone left a book. I want to know who it was.
Fuck, there's a bunch of books over there.
Yeah, no, this is a different book.
No. I don't know. I was busy. See?
Yeah, all right. Back at you, champ.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, Barnabus, I don't have to get rid of the Hydra like Chaga told me, right?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, it ain't gonna fit down the hole.
Find another fucking hole.
All right. Fuck, after dinner.
Listen, there's an entire inn that's fucking empty. Leave it there.
You never want to do gross work on an empty stomach. If you're gonna puke, make it worthwhile.
You're fucking revolting. Fucking book slams the door behind him.
Not now, Mort. Not now. It's going in the bag.
Barnabas, I cannot help but overhear what you were saying.
Oh, fuck, more interruptions.
Well, if you're interested in finding out who delivered this book, why don't you just look outside and look for tracks? If you can find who delivered it, perhaps it was a runner. You can go that way.
It's the city. I'm not a tracker. None of us are trackers. Not good enough to go through a city. Barnabus doesn't actually know. He just doesn't think so.
Get Junker to smell
Junker
him.
might be able to do it.
Just get Junker to smell him. He can do that, can't he?
Yeah, if they walked, I suppose.
It is an idea.
Yeah, you know what is another idea is you going back to all the shops in your neighborhood and collecting your rent.
Junker and Ghost have poked their faces out from the collecting.
I thought you were gone. What are you doing here?
Okay, Barnabas, unless you're poking at this anymore, you've got stuff to read.
No, he's part of him knows that. Yeah, I could probably figure it out, but another part of him is like, if Hallmark Strom sent it like this is how he wants it solved. So let's solve it this way. That's because that's fun to him.
Okay. We'll say Barnabas, you take a blank book from the library to start your notes on what you've learned from the complicated book of many levels.
Yep.
And you're starting basically your research notes on the Infernal Codex is what it is. So add that tome to the things that you carry.
Yep. Actually, I'll make up.
That evening, Chaga basically puts a bunch of candles out in the kitchen area. Los is actually out. You are not allowed in the kitchen unless you're going to behave and be quiet.
Mort is not allowed in the kitchen.
Okay.
The rats are going to be in the kitchen. They're going to sit up on a shelf.
Sure.
And coins are going back and forth as the evening goes on.
Okay, Chaga lights some incense burners and draws a big circle in chalk around the ground, and begins to chant and hum and meditate. The duck seems to be painted with a bunch of brightly colored paints. Periodically, Chaga picks up the duck and makes it walk around the runes before putting it back down in the middle of the circle. Something happens, like Chaga seems to have wakened something, where there is a beam of light that is coming out of the duck's third eye, and the same beam of light coming out of Chaga's third eye. There are weird patterns that are in the light. They seem to oscillate for a time before finally being in sync. You can see sort of a square-like thing coming out of the duck's head at the same time as Chaga, and then it turns into a triangle, and then it turns into a circle, and the circle turns into a little dot, and then the dot kind of sparks away. You're happy, Duckin. I'm happy too. Wait, am I happy because you're happy, or are you happy because I am? Maybe it is a virtuous circle. Meh. Oh, yes. Chaga's just petting the duck. I want to introduce all of you to Duckin. Officially, now, she is my familiar. And not on the menu. Mort, you could come in now.
Mort comes in. Fucking filthy.
This is Duckin. She's not on the menu. She's my familiar.
Well... Okay, fine. Does
And
Duckin have any brothers or sisters?
Oh, yeah, you could... Chaga puts Duckin down and clasps the side of its head. You can eat all the other ducks that you want.
Yeah, you got it.
Yes, I know.
Izumi go back and forth. Ghost raises a claw.
Yes, Ghost. What is it?
Well, one does it. It's a she duck, right?
Yes.
Eggs.
Her eggs are mine. He picks up Duckin and hugs her protectively.
Well, what about breakfast?
I said, there might be. Don't worry, I'll continue to cook you breakfast, Mort.
Yeah, but we've never had familiar eggs for breakfast.
You've had all sorts of eggs for breakfast. How would you know the difference when it goes into that infernal bag? Oh, yes. Over the next couple of days, Chaga tries out putting spells into Duckin, and this leads him to purchasing a page of spell knowledge with Shocking Grasp.
I know you can do it, but I think like the duck with a shout spell with the quack.
Yeah, she shouts a bit too powerful right now. But yeah, Duckin can fly around. Chaga seems to have someone to talk to while he's while he's cooking, and it's awesome. Thanks, Luke, for the boon point for Chaga's familiar.
Do we eat less poultry now?
Yeah, it's just awkward for him to cook.
Yes. Although eggs seem to be perfectly fine, and Duckin doesn't really give a shit. When she lays an egg and Chaga eats it, it's almost like a gift.
Here you go, buddy.
Here are the feats that I gave Duckin. A 7th level familiar. So weapon focus, touch spell, familiar concentration. So Chaga can actually pass the concentration of his insinuation off to the duck.
Nice. Very nice.
Evolved familiar, so the duck can actually reach with a touch spell. Critical conduit, which means that it crits 19 through 20s with its touch spells. And toughness, just so it's one damn tough duck.
Just tough duck.
At 8th level, it has 51 hit points.
That's a good number of hit points.
Yeah, it's a good duck. It's a good duck.
Good duck. Good duck. What is the what's its int right now?
Its int is 9.
Oh yeah, that max level of int minus thing is not a problem.
Smart ducky you are. Quack.
It seems to respond to Chaga. It generally, however, is very docile, well behaved, and sedentary. It just kind of hangs out near Chaga, either bobbing in its basin or swaddled up somewhere.
All right, so I just got a text. So I'm going to have to step away for a few minutes, and then by the time I come back, I would have to go to bed. But you don't have work in the morning, Ahmed. I don't know when he works. It just whenever. And Mark, I think
random.
we're good to go. So I think there's no reason to pull the plug on my behalf.
Okay.
I don't think we were considering that, but thanks, man.
Oh, thank you.
What an asshole. You're in. You're
my
in
son's
for,
learning. Yes.
You're in for Saturday. You're in for Saturday, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Nice.
I'll be here for Saturday for the shindiggery. Yeah, I'll see you Saturday. I'm going to walk the dogs so they don't get mud all over the house, and then I'm going to go to bed.
Cool, man.
All right.
All right.
Buddy.
Grakkel, the funeral arrangements for your master have been made. Where is he being buried? Is he being buried in Crypt Garden or?
Are there is there a place? So I assume it's all family.
Yeah, your master probably Crypt Garden makes sense. There's probably a plot for like an area for many of the hobgoblins to bury their dead, either in public ossuaries or in family plots. Yeah, it's likely where it'll happen. You spent 500 gold on his burial, so he's got a slot in a like picture a wall where there are many alcoves, and he's got an alcove set aside from him. It's a place where you can go and meditate privately before his grave. There are other hobgoblins that have been buried in this particular mausoleum.
How's the security here?
It's the Crypt Garden. You have to go over a wall to get in there. You have to know where you're going. There's an iron gate, and then they'll actually brick up with masonry, they'll brick up the alcove when his body is placed within.
I changed my mind about something I'm doing. I'm gonna bury with him his hilt, his handle, and his scabbard.
Okay.
The actual blade will be refitted, and I will be carrying it around.
All right. So leading up to this, after you kind of popped your head in to get introduced to Duckin, who seems to be, I don't know, perhaps smarter since Chaga's bonding, you spend the rest of the time going and visiting a blacksmith. He'll pull the magical blade apart.
Yeah, it's not that difficult. It's pretty easy to do that. But yeah.
Do you have any craft weapons or armor?
Grakkel doesn't. Amit, believe it or not, does.
All right, so Grakkel does not know how, aside from smashing it.
Actually, no. Hold on. I do have a craft skill, and I haven't assigned anything to it. This looks like the smart thing to have.
Okay, so Grakkel figures it out.
Yeah. Craft.
Weapons.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got the blade deconstructed. The blade still has it still has a +1 on it. You will need a magical craft person to put the blade back together. Like you've basically disassembled a magic item.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I do put I'll put like one of his favorite wooden practice sword with the hilt, with the handle, with the scabbard.
Okay.
What he will be buried with.
The funeral seems to be a mixture of cultures. The Imperials insist on burying the dead, whereas there may have been times throughout Hobgoblin history where burning the dead might have been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Given that you live in Imperial lands, the culture has slightly changed to, he was a warrior. He gets a monument, basically, like a place to go and visit and visit him. It's not something you, I think, think too deeply about. Just sort of explaining.
Yep. No, it's fine. He's responsible for it. He kind of takes him, he treats him as master, but thinks of him like a father because he's the one that raised him.
The dozen or so members of your dojo that would be considered regulars show up along with their families. There are many people who lived in the neighborhood that also show up to pay their respects. You start to see that the crowd is much larger than you initially expected. As the day turns to night, other people begin to start showing up to pay respects to your master.
All right. They're just showing up because I'm there.
Yep. Which party members went to the funeral?
Barnabus went. He made Mort go, just to say he went, but then shoot him off.
Yep.
Very quickly, so we wouldn't ruin it.
Okay.
I would like Ghost and Junker there as well, as scouts, because
Yeah, sure. We'll keep an eye on things. Don't make us do any of the mumbo jumbo though.
I don't even want to see you. Just want to know you're there.
Okay, we'll be over there, and they go in the opposite direction.
It's fine. I want a bow covering our ass. How many days? Because I want to know if I have my armor or not.
No, your armor is still being crafted.
Okay, so I'm wearing the silk armor.
No, you sold that.
Oh, it's already sold. Okay, that's fine.
Or it's in the sell pile. I guess you could wear the silk armor.
Okay, if it's not sold, I'll
No.
wear it.
Give me a second. It's the silk armor with all the runes removed.
Yep.
Yep.
It's still +1 though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Chaga looks a little bit nervous during this. He seems a little preoccupied, both tending to his duck, but he also seems to spend quite a bit of time talking to Los.
That is something, Miss Shaga.
I actually don't think we should be here.
Why not?
No offense to your master, but Los and I didn't have a good experience last time we were in Crypt Garden.
If you need to leave, I understand. No problem. I will not take offense.
All right. I think we might leave of our own accord and just fly back to the tower. It's just over there, I think. As long as you'll be all right.
It should be fine.
Los pays his respects. I've told him to stay in his jar, though. I imagine a ghost at a funeral is not the sort of thing your people want to see.
A little bit of bad form, I'd say.
Yep. But don't worry, he's bowing and paying his respects in his own way.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll see the two of you back at the tower. Chaga trundles off, like, visibly nervous, duck waddling after him. Leaving Barnabus and Grakkel, you kind of, it's at this point in time you kind of wish that some of your friends would have stayed, because there are some rough characters that begin showing up at the funeral, hanging back and paying.
That's why I wanted Mort here.
Paying their respects in groups. There's now a group that you're pretty sure belongs to that rival dojo. That they brought many of their members to come.
Maybe Barnabas casts a quick fly spell, flies back to the tower, tells Mort to just hang around in the background and don't talk to anybody.
Okay,
I've got enough room around just
so
to shoot him.
So Barnabas is about to cast a fly spell to leave. What are you doing, Grakkel?
He'll tell Grakkel, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. I've got a broom that's hanging right next to me.
Sweeping
My hand,
grave.
Yeah, sweep me, cleaning around the grave.
Well, you hear a voice. This is Grakkel when he's alone.
Mm-hmm. Do I recognize the well?
No, you just hear the voice behind you.
Ah. I slowly turn around.
There's nobody there.
Oh. Alright.
Oh, there's something there. And that something, the talking isn't coming at head level, it's coming from up, and it sounds very big and very deep.
Ah, I was wondering when you were going to come around.
You actually see a little bit of breath, like in the air, from something that is invisible. Night Watchman.
That is who I have become. That is true.
Is it?
What do you want?
I need a name for an ogre magi.
Slinky.
No. Somebody else, please.
Yeah.
Grundle Chun.